Hello, I'm Shane Lee. I'm here today with the Rebellion Brewing team. I've got John O'Brien.
Hello, Shane.
G'day, mate. And Joey Procter.
How you going?
How are you, Joey? The crowdfunding is going well. Almost $400,000 now potentially raised with almost 230 investors. You must be really pleased with that, John.
Yes, Shane, we're pretty excited about the investor support today. We've nearly hit our early target of $500,000, but there's a bit of time left, so we urge people, while the campaign is still live, to get on board. The quicker we reach these targets, the faster we can get on with our plans and build shareholder value.
John, what do you plan to spend the money on, and when will the campaign finish?
Well, Shane, that depends on how much we raise. The first thing we want to do is find some great salespeople, then turbocharge our online marketing and social media, and of course, we want to make more O'Brien beer. Historically, we've been pretty conservative with how we've run our marketing campaigns in the past, only really ramping up over the past 2 years, but that goes good for the future.
I see the Commonwealth Government has awarded craft brewers a $350,000 excise rebate.
Yeah, that's fantastic for us, Shane. That increased from $100,000 to $350,000. That extra $250,000 will go straight to the bottom line and help us support our aggressive growth plans.
It's essentially an additional 250 on top of the cap raise, thanks to the Commonwealth Government, which we all appreciate, and so should shareholders.
What are the sales targets for the next few years and beyond?
Yeah, we've got our sales targets as per the offer document, Shane. It's 100,000 to 230,000 cases per annum within the next 2 years. That's equivalent to revenue of $4.5 million to $6 million. But there's a lot of work ahead of us. We need to get strong sales leadership and build those distribution channels further. We want to see this company grow, and we want to become a serious industry player. We've been pretty restricted in what we've been able to say about our targets in the offer document, but we've got ambitions to reach 300,000 cases per annum within 5 years. That's equivalent to revenue of $13 million.
That's what I like to hear as a Rebellion investor. How are you going to build those sales pipelines?
We think we're in a pretty strong position, Shane. We have a unique competitive advantage. We have multi-award winning beers free from any ill effects of wheat and barley. However, we're yet to fully exploit those advantages. What we want to do is employ a national sales manager, followed by a trade manager and marketing manager. These people will have full focus on online marketing, social media, better industry alliances and distribution channels.
John, I see you there at the brewery in Ballarat. Do you have capacity at the brewery to meet the 2-year targets of 100 to 150,000 cases?
Oh, absolutely, Shane. Our current capacity allows us to reach those targets of 130,000 cases with minimal capital outlay, other than some additional resources in the workforce, of course. Basically, we're ready to go.
And John, what would your scale-up plan be to, say, get to 250,000 to 500,000 cases?
Well, we've worked up those plans, Shane, to get to 250,000 cases and then beyond that to 500,000 cases. And that's all within our current premises, so we don't have to move premises. The budget to reach those plans is $4 million to reach 250,000 cases. That's a capital outlay, plus a further $4 million in capital outlay to reach 500,000 cases. That's also equivalent to revenue of $11 million and $22 million respectively.
John, I see there's some additional grants for capacity. Do we qualify for those?
Yes, we do, Shane. We do qualify for the government grants. However, our current capacity allows us to meet our initial target of 130,000 cases with those additional resources I spoke about. In the future, to reach those targets beyond 130,000 cases, we'll be looking at all our funding options, including government grants, for those future targets.
Now, Joey, the exciting things, mate, we've got some very well-known Aussies that have come on board.
Yes, mate, I pinched your black book when you weren't looking and started ringing up all your famous people. But no, look, it's fantastic. Obviously, we've met a lot of people through your Lunch with Lee podcast and Afternoon Sport, which has been fantastic for the company's exposure. But, you know, to see Dave Faulkner from the Hoodoo Gurus, Dave Gleeson from the Screaming Jets, Richard Wilkins, Greg Matthews, Paul Langmack, you know, the cast goes on all to the silver tongue Timmy Gilbert. But it's fantastic that, firstly, that they love our beer, but secondly, that we can spruik about them loving our beer. I think it's fantastic, and that's obviously all to you, mate. Thank you.
And Joey, as a shareholder, what is your plan to grow the company?
So it's all about people. Like, we all love the beer. John's done a fantastic job. He's got more gold medals than Michael Phelps. But we've fallen down a bit in the sales area. I think, like any football team, rugby team, cricket team, we need a really high draft pick in the national sales area. I think getting someone really, really talented that's got an extensive black book in on-premise, which is the clubs, pubs, restaurants, and the big two retailers, and the independents, really crucial for our way forward. I think we've got so many things in place, but as they say in football parlance, we need a couple of key position players to get us up to the finals and ultimately win a flag. And that's, generating a heap of sales. I think part of it is, the people is the most important thing, because they come with a strategy. But the other part is getting wider distribution. It's getting into all the clubs, pubs and restaurants, and emulating their food menu, which is gone crazy on gluten-free options, and generating a heap of shareholder value. That's our plan.
And what are your exit plans? Because I love the beer personally, but how do I make money out of my investment?
Mate, building the company and building shareholder value, big potential suitors will come. There's been a lot of consolidation in the industry already. You can look at any IM from any raising. The big guys are hungry for smaller companies that carve out unique growth areas in their own category. We are that. So we're just going to trundle along and do our own thing, really build sales. We'd love to entertain a couple of the big guys, whether it's Lion, CUB or Coca-Cola coming in and, cutting a deal with them to broaden our distribution, both here and domestically and internationally. But if not, we'll, hopefully we're, just build the company to a level where we either trade sale it, IPO it, or pay a heap of dividends down the track.
Besides being a great tasting beer, it's a gluten-free beer. Is the gluten-free market capped?
We think the gluten-free market is actually becoming more mainstream.
Okay.
You don't have to have empirical evidence to prove this. You just go to your local restaurants if you're not in New South Wales and in lockdown, and the gluten-free and vegan options are exploding in restaurants. Our job is to convince some of these restaurateurs and pubs that, like their gluten-free options, which is about 30% on the menu, we should be having a gluten-free option on tap and in their fridge as a beer, because, it makes sense if 90% of your revenue is coming from beer predominantly and other liquid, there should be some gluten-free options. Otherwise, they're missing out on revenue. And
does Rebellion Brewing have international ambitions?
Yes, absolutely. We've started distributing in the UK already through a couple of different outlets. However, first we've got to really dominate our category and in the domestic market. We think there's so much upside here because it's basically untapped. Whilst people do know about O'Brien's more and more each day, there's so many people that don't, and we'd really love to dominate that domestic area before we go overseas.
Now, John, the Olympics is fast approaching, only a few weeks away. Some gold medals sitting in your cupboard, mate. Maybe talk us through those.
Yeah, we got in early on that one, Shane. We were pretty shocked, I'd have to say, about winning 6 gold medals at the recent Australian International Beer Awards. That's on top of the 3 we already had from 2013, 2016 and 2019. So that was a great haul of gold medals. 6, we took on Michael Phelps there and we ran over the top of him. We also had a gold medal at the Indies Award from 2019, and we're the only Australian gluten-free beer to ever win a World Beer Cup award, having won a silver.
As Ray Warren would say, mate, it's gold, gold, gold at Rebellion Brewing. So, boys, John first and Joey, it's been a fantastic response so far. But in closing, John, any initial or final thoughts?
Yeah, we're pretty happy with how it's going so far, Shane, and we're keen to get cracking with our projects. So if you're in any doubt, get on board, everyone.
Yeah, Shane, look, we're wrapped with the results so far. We're at 82% of our early raise target, which is fantastic. We want to get higher. You know, we're there. We want to get going quickly so we can bring in some really talented salespeople, increase our distribution, and, you know, broaden our online presence, which will help us sell more beer.
Look, it's a great product. It's a great tasting beer. It's gluten-free. It's good for you, as we say in all the ads. That's the beer that loves you back. So thanks everyone for your time, and you'll get on board. This thing is going to fly.